Hello, I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man, and I'm with a very happy Simon Bloch. Simon is a partner at JMW's Manchester office and specialises in employment law. Hello, Simon.
Hello, Dominic.
Fantastic result for England against Denmark, which means, of course, that England are through to the finals. But I thought we'd talk about an employment law perspective. So what would happen in the scenario where employees would like to take Sunday off to watch the game?
Yeah, there are clearly going to be a number of businesses who still need to work on Sunday to ensure production requirements. So in terms of people taking off time to be able to watch the match, for example, if they're rotated to work, I think the key thing here is to ensure that any requests that come in are dealt with on a fair basis and making sure that you manage expectations. Just handling requests on a first come, first served basis isn't really going to cut the mustard, because there may be people who really do want to get the time off who haven't actually thought about it yet. So you want to get something out there and publicize it to staff that if they want to make a request, they need to do it by a certain deadline. There are a few practical issues that you might want to think about in terms of handling requests, perhaps looking at whether people can swap shifts for people who don't want to watch the game and people who do want to watch the game. Not everybody is interested in the football. So in terms of the key here is to ensure productivity and making sure that the business has the ability to carry on Sunday. So that is something that is going to need to be kept at the forefront of everybody's mind.
We live in a global world now, and lots of workplaces are made up of lots of different nationalities. I mean, would there ever be a scenario where an employer could say, sorry, you can't have Sunday off because you're a Denmark fan and Denmark are out, or actually you can't have Sunday off because you're an Italy fan and we're all England fans here? Surely that couldn't happen.
Yeah, I think this is a really good point, Dominic, because the temptation is that England are in the final. We're living in England, and it's a really important event. It having been 55 years since England were last in the final of a major competition. But from an employment perspective, it raises a really serious issue that just to allow England fans the time off work could give rise to a potential complaint of discrimination if you were to, for example, say to potentially Italian nationals who are working for you, sorry, you're not having the time off. We're only allowing people of an English nationality to have that time off. There may be people who are genuinely interested in watching the football of other nationalities. So just be alive to the fact that you don't want to cause trouble for yourself by applying a really rigid approach.
And leaving those hard workers who would be working ordinarily on a Sunday aside. Of course, business starts bright and early on a Monday morning as well for lots of people. What do employers do if they get, I don't know how to phrase this, Simon, maybe higher than normal amounts of sickness maybe on Monday morning?
You mean I think you mean the Monday morning hangover.
I think that's
people having consumed too much alcohol in the build-up to the game, or got very, very excited if we do win and just can't face Monday morning coming in. Absolutely. That is a really serious point, isn't it? At the end of the day, businesses still have to operate on Monday morning. And I expect employers will see an increase in people pulling the sickie, won't they? So how that is dealt with in advance is a really important point. I think closely monitoring sickness absence and making sure that you've got a policy as regards sickness absence and reminding people what is acceptable is going to be key here. If employees know what is expected of them and what is acceptable sickness and what is not acceptable sickness, you're going to see less people hopefully calling in sickness, because at the end of the day, if you are off sick and it's not a genuine absence, then you could be taken through a disciplinary process for that unauthorized absence. And employees really need to be aware of that if they don't turn in on Monday morning and it's not genuine, they're going to face they could face potential consequences for that.
And in the social media world we live in now, Simon, we see people singing on social media. We see people cheering when goals are scored, and the same on the television as well. But what would happen in a scenario where an employee hypothetically on Sunday night after the game might do something that they would regret on a Monday morning?
Yeah, I think this comes at it from a couple of possible situations. Firstly, people who go to the game and there are issues at the game where it could be considered to be hooliganism, or people getting involved in situations that they shouldn't be, or just if you're celebrating on the streets but you get involved in an altercation. If you're going to end up bringing your employer into disrepute because of your actions, that could be considered to be an offence that results in in employment being terminated, or for a disciplinary sanction, if it has the effect that it brings the employer into disrepute. So again, that's something else to watch out for, and make sure that employees are aware as to how to ensure that their conduct is an acceptable one.
Simon, as always, thank you very much for your insight. I've just got one very important question to ask you, though, before I let you go, and it's this. Is football coming home?
Of course it is, Dominic. It's been 55 years. How can it be not coming home?
Fantastic. Simon, thank you for your insight as always. And if you'd like to contact Simon, of course, he's always here to give employment advice, not just during major sporting events. You can contact him, insideman@jmw.co.uk, or call 0161 82 81 999. I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.